You're wandering across the Sahara Desert, and all you can see around is endless sand. And then all of a sudden you spot this mark in the sand. The wisest thing to do is run away from that spot as fast as you can, because if you squint and focus really well, you'll realize that you're looking at a Saharan horned viper hiding in the sand, waiting for its next meal. Paradoxically, the bite of the snake has never led to human fatal eye ties. But then why should you run away? Well, let's find out. The Saharan horned viper is one of the desert's most famous snakes and a pro at hiding in plain sight. The Sarasti saces, which is this snake's scientific name, is one of the most well-camouflaged creatures in the entire animal kingdom. It can measure between 12 and 24 inches in length on average, but the biggest specimens can stretch up to a whopping 33 inches, nearly 3 feet. And while that might not seem too long, trust me, you wouldn't want one to sneak up on you. Interestingly, the females of this species are larger than the males, which is rare in snakes, and gives the females an even more intimidating presence. But the truly unique thing about this viper is, of course, those creepy horns, one above each eye. They give the reptile a dragon-like look, setting it apart from most other desert vipers. Not all Saharan horned vipers have these horns. Some have small nubs or none at all. You could say it's a bit of a genetic lottery. Still, these horns add to the viper's threatening vibe and make it look even more fearsome. But it's not just their horns or size that makes them fascinating. Males and females look different. Beyond just their size, males have noticeably larger heads and eyes than females, and compared to their relative Saharan horn vipers, have bigger heads and are more likely to sport these spooky horns. Now let's talk about what makes the Saharan horn viper a true master of survival. Its uncanny ability to blend into the sands. This viper's coloration matches the Sahara's various shades: yellow, pale gray, pinkish reddish, or light brown. It has an intricate pattern along its back with dark rectangular patches that sometimes fuse into crossbars. At the same time, the underbelly is white and the tail often has a black tip, and is another trick some animals can mistake this feature for a scorpion. Stinger. This camouflage is the viper's main line of defense and its tool for hunting. The reptile doesn't just slither around in plain view. Instead, it buries itself in the sand. The viper can wiggle its body under the soft desert sand, leaving only its eyes and nostrils visible. Imagine a creature so skilled at hiding that it can lay completely flat and practically disappear, waiting for hours until an unsuspecting mouse or lizard or waters by during the day. The viper also takes shelter under rocks and in burrows left by other animals. Sometimes it even simply hides in the shade of bushes. For a creature that looks so fierce, the Saharan horned viper is surprisingly even-tempered. It won't waste its venom on a thread. It can avoid, preferring instead to lie still or try to hide. But when it feels truly threatened, the snake gives a truly dramatic warning. It rubs its coils together, producing a distinctive hissing and crackling sound that lets you know it's ready to strike. And if you ignore that warning, well, this viper's bite is loaded with toxic venom that can be quite dangerous. That's why handling such snakes can be a fatal mistake. As two unlucky handlers in Europe once discovered, both men were bitten by captive Saharan horn vipers, and the bites cause extreme swelling, blood clotting issues, and even kidney failure. The venom in these bites has special compounds that mess with blood clotting attack, kidneys, and can cause serious internal bleeding. The best treatment for these bites is specific antivenom, but it's clear that the bite of a Saharan horned viper is nothing to take lightly. Now, Here's another astonishing fact about this reptile. When it does move, the Saharan horned viper doesn't slither in the usual way. Instead, it uses a unique style called sidewinding picture. The animal lifting a loop of its body, moving that loop forward, and then pulling the rest along behind this sideways walking. Lets the snake move across the hot sand without letting its belly touch the ground for too long in a place as hot as the Sahara. This technique isn't just cool looking, it's essential for survival. While the Saharan horned viper is a champion of desert camouflage, it has some serious competition in the camouflage department around the world. There are other snakes that have protected the art of blending into the surroundings to catch prey and avoid being eaten themselves, like the eastern brown snake and Australian snake that is one of the most venomous in the world. Its brown color lets it blend in with rocks and soil, making it extremely hard to spot until you're practically on top of it. A bite from the snake can be fatal in less than an hour. Or the eastern copperhead found in the forest of the US. This snake's pale tan and pinkish colors blend in perfectly with autumn leaves. It often freezes in place rather than slithering away, which leads to many accidental bites. Its venom usually isn't fatal, but it's painful. And since the reptile hides so well, encounters are common. The peering adder from Angola and Namibia loves to hide in the sand like the Saharan horned viper. It mostly eats lizards, and its sandy color scales make it almost impossible to see. Thankfully, its bite isn't too dangerous for humans. Now, look at this terrifying creature. It's the timber rattlesnake. This rattlesnake lives in the lush forests of the US and uses its colors to blend into the forest floor. You might not see it, but if you hear its rattle, take a step back. Since its venom is potent, the Pacific gopher snake found on the west coast of the US can grow up to 7 feet long. The only plus in this situation is that this reptile is non-venomous. It camouflages well in forests and fields, but is harmless to people. Just don't scare it, or you'll get a bite, which is still unpleasant in the rocky terrains of California and Oregon. You might meet the northern Pacific rattlesnake, which likes blending into dark brown and gold rocks. Hearing a rattle is often your only warning, since this dangerous snake is nearby. On these neck snakes aren't particularly dangerous, but they're unsurpassed masters of camouflage. The smooth green snake has a bright green color that matches the leaves and trees and grass, which makes it practically invisible among foliage. The common European vibrant prefers hiding among leaves and shrubs, and the harmless common cheetah snake has colors that blend in with dirt and grass. Keep in mind though, that even though all these snakes are not venomous, they can still give a painful nip. Oh, and I can't but mention the massive reticulated python. Even though it can grow over 21 feet, the South Asian snake is expert at hiding among leaves and shadows. It's one of the only snakes known to occasionally hunt humans. So tread carefully in its territory. Now in the wild snakes like the Saharan horn. Viper rely on sea camouflage to hunt and avoid being hunted. They might be blending into leaves, sand, or rocks. But in any case, these snakes have evolved to stay hidden from predators and prey alike. The desert viper buries itself to stay cool and catch food, while forest snakes blend in to hunt in silence or avoid curious humans. For them, all staying hidden isn't just a matter of survival. It's a huge advantage. So next time you're out in nature, remember that you might be walking right past a hidden hunter, watching you from the shadows with a quiet, horrifying patience. Have fun out there. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the hidden info secrets.